Okay, so I'm going to be going over our new homeschool schedule with you all. It has evolved a lot more since my last schedule because curriculum has changed, life has changed, homeschooling seriously more children. And so I wanted to walk you through exactly what we're doing different and how it's changing. All right, so first things first, let's talk about the elephant in the room. This is a mic, okay? This is a microphone. I don't know if you can hear in the background, but I'm filming at night and my children are asleep, and so I have to wear a mic so that you guys can hear me over their white noise sound machine, which sounds like a hurricane happening in the background. But we're gonna do this. All right, so I'm gonna be looking at my papers so that I can walk you through the routine better. I may also post it's kind of like a mock routine up so that you guys can see what it looks like, or maybe just write it in the description. So here we go. So we have really updated our homeschool schedule to accommodate our new priority, which is to put Christ at the center of all that we do, which is to literally talk about him in the morning and in the evening and as you do all the things. And so I took that very literal, and I'm in my mind, or in our mind, is that if we do anything at all throughout the day, let it be that we have taken the time to worship God and talk about him. And so you will see that that theme is reoccurring in our schedule. So first things first, our children have schedules outside of just homeschool, but this video is just specifically talking about our homeschool schedule. So our homeschool schedule begins during breakfast time, and we start breakfast with our morning menus. And we start by singing a hymn or two, it's usually two, and going over Bible verses and praying and doing all the things. So that is the very first thing that we do in the morning, is our morning menus, and it can be anywhere from 30 minutes to 45 minutes, just depending on if we get into this, like we were learning about Malaysia. And we were praying for Malaysia, and the children had questions. And so we took the time to dive deeper into their struggles and to find out what is happening over there. And so it can be anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes, just really depending, and it's our morning menu time. So I have a video talking about what exactly is in our morning menu with free printables of everything that's in our morning menu, and I will link that up above so that you guys can grab that. But that's the first thing that we do. And so after morning menu time, we go ahead and go into reading the Bible. Now, currently, we are reading one proverb a day based off of the day of the week, or based off the day of the month that it is. So if it is January 18th, we will be reading the 18th proverb, or the 18th, chapter 18 of Proverbs, if that makes sense. And so that's what we've been doing when it comes to Bible reading time. But we are transitioning into a more structured Bible reading time, which I'll talk about later when we actually do it and if we actually like it and stuff. Then from there, we go to our read aloud. Now, during our read aloud time, our children do Spelling UC simultaneously. Spelling UC is a spelling curriculum from the creators of Math UC, and it's very heavy on handwriting and repeating certain things and highlighting certain things and stuff like that. And they can do that while listening to an audiobook because it's very similar to handwriting. After that, we clean up the breakfast table and we transition into math. Now, this is the first year that I'm doing math all together as a group, and it is working out beautifully. To just, me personally, to just have my mind focused on one subject at a time has been incredibly helpful. And so we all sit down and do math. My youngest, who does JDA's math, as well as Rod and Staff math. And my two older ones do CLE math at this time. After math, we go on our family walk. Now, getting outside is part of our homeschool. That is how the little ones get settled and calm down, and it gives us an opportunity to clear our minds after all that hard number crunching and math that we've been doing. And so from there, we transition to, we come home, we go outside for about an hour, we walk to the park and walk back, then we come home and we have a snack. Now, after snack, we begin our rotations. Now, we have different rotations in order to rotate to mommy because everybody needs to work with me. And so the first rotation or the first block is about 20 minutes, and it is me working with my youngest to do his language arts and his reading work, and then my second grader working with the 2-year-old and doing some flashcard work with her letters, her numbers, her shapes, her sounds, all that stuff. They're doing flashcard work together, as well as some Montessori activities. My oldest, my 10-year-old, he at that time is doing his independent work. So he's doing his geography, he's doing his explode the code, he's doing anything, finishing up math if he didn't get a chance to finish it up. So anything that is independent, that is his time to get that done. After that, we transition to the next rotation, which is me working with my 7-year-old, my second grader, and my pre-K-er, so my 4-year-old then transitions to doing reading eggs, and so he works on his reading eggs, and my oldest then transitions to work with the 2-year-old, and at that point, him and her, they are doing, he does reading eggs with her after he reads her a story. So he reads her one story and then he works alongside her doing reading eggs with her. That block is 30 minutes rather than 20 minutes because of the fact that working with my 7-year-old, she requires more time than my 4-year-old. So after that is our third block. Now during our third block, I work with my oldest. So he does IEW writing, so he's working on his writing. I listen in while he works on writing, and he does fix-it grammar. And so that's what he's doing during that block. And my 7-year-old is doing her reading eggs during that time. So she's doing her reading eggs. And the 2 little ones now have independent play. Now, independent play doesn't always go as planned because, they tend to get into stuff. And so this is the best time for them to not specifically have a buddy or to be distracted by electronics, because my oldest can pretty much do his work on his own. I'm pretty much there to just tag team for him. So while they're doing their independent play, whether it's blocks, whether it's trains, whether it's Play-Doh, it's a structured independent play. Like, we know what's coming out so that we can know what needs to be cleaned up. So they work on that together, and I'm usually like back and forth, ping-ponging between the littles and my oldest. So after that is our 4th block. Now, that takes about 30 minutes. Honestly, sometimes 40 minutes because he has a lot more work to do. So a lot of times his work takes about 40 minutes. And then my middle, she stops doing her reading eggs after 30 minutes because she's responsible for making lunch. So then she stops after 30 minutes and starts working on lunch. Now, the next block, my 7-year-old is now doing her independent work, and my oldest is now doing his reading eggs for 30 minutes, and the 2 youngest are doing preschool prep. Now, preschool prep is a DVD, which is amazing, and it does letters. They have different, well, it's not only a DVD, they also offer streaming, so we do the streaming, and we're doing shapes. They have shapes, they have letter sounds, they have blends, they have numbers, they have math facts, they have all the things. I'm obsessed with preschool prep. This time period is about 20 minutes. My second grader only has Human to do for independent work and explode the code. So the next block after that is lunch. Whoever's finishing up independent work or whatever work that they have to do, they're finishing it up during lunchtime. And then we transition into nap time and clean up after lunchtime. So we clean up, and then the older two clean up while I put the two little ones down for a nap, and then we come back and we do history or science, depending on the day. For 20 minutes, we do history or science. Following that, now they have devotions. Now their devotions, we do work unto others. And so it's not only a devotion for them, but it's a devotion for me as well. And so we take that afternoon time to quiet down. We all go to our separate corners. We do our work unto others devotional, and then we come back together to discuss and talk about it. It takes a total of like 15 minutes, but it's just a time to get away, pray, think about God, and then come back together and talk about Him some more. Then from there, I do special time with my two older kids, and so that's 10 minutes per child, doing what they want to do, just connecting with the two older ones. Sometimes they get lost in the mix of all the little ones. And so this is a time where we connect. I do what they want to do, and we talk. There's a lot of talking that's happening now that they're older, which I love. And so I just listen to their hearts and whatever problems or concerns they may be having, and it's just a sweet time. That pretty much ends our school day. Now we have like an afternoon routine, we have a whole morning routine for the older kids, we have a whole cleanup routine. Like there are, like, homeschool is a part of life. I do want to say as well that during quiet time, before I forget, my oldest does his teaching textbooks. So during that time, that's when he takes the time to do his other math that he loves. It's more like he's obsessed with it. So that is when he takes that time to do his teaching textbooks. And once he's done with that, then he does Audible and listens to a book or reads a physical book. And then my daughter, she paints and does crafts and makes a mess, and then listens to an audiobook as well during quiet time. But what I was saying was that we have a huge home routine outside of the homeschool routine. So if you'd like to see a video talking about our home routine, let me know in the comments so that I can get to working on that, because it changes every day. Like our home cleaning routine changes every day. The other thing is, on Life of Plan Prep Pray, I did do a homeschool video where it's a day in the life of our homeschool, and so you see the rotations happening and all the different things. So I'll link that video up above so that you can watch that if you'd like. And until next time, I hope this was helpful and can help you structure. I hope it wasn't too confusing, but if you have any questions, let me know in the description. And until next time, bye.